Good morning, good day to you. As usual, whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. As usual, we try to expand the knowledge and see how much we can understand more about ourselves, our environment, our world, when we are going from a little village of Earth into the cosmopolitan universe of the Creator. In the past few weeks, as has been the trend, we concentrate on a matter for months and months and sometimes a couple of years to expand more and more in deeper way for people to understand. We're still busy with understanding of time. Time has no characteristics. Time is the creature created by and through conditions which it has no control, but in a way it sets and it sits in operation of one life, one existence anywhere in the universe. In the past few weeks, we explained about the place, position, and possession. But time is not only created by that. If you refer back into the what I call connection of the soul, we always spoke from the very first teaching, some 500 odd teachings ago, about the emotion. Emotion is not characteristics and is not exclusivity of physical life. Emotion is a reaction. How we decide to react is an operator. In a way, when everything comes together, how I'm going to react. Man has emotion, animals have emotion, plants have emotion, galaxies have emotion, even the universes have emotion. But we do not see, we are not aware of. We are aware of our own emotion, or a cat we see, or a dog. But emotion is a cornerstone of creation of time. It's not, as I always said, life has two sides, yin and yang, place, position, and position is a matter side of it, is a tangibility, physicality of it. But every physical condition has an energy parallel. The energy parallel of time in a physical place, position, and position is emotion. One of the cornerstones of it is emotion, because it has to react, it has to show what it gathered and how it can show itself. In the dimension of the man's understanding, if you go back in all the teachings, I always say, you take from these teachings according to your intelligence. Intelligence is in how you assess the emotion received and how you react, how you bring the past information to bring it in position. Emotion exists in both dimensions. Intelligence exists in one dimension, and that's in the dimension of energy. In a way, if you can describe emotion in a different way, it's like when you have two magnetic gravitational fields, we create mass, and interaction of them with another gravitational magnetic field creates weight, which has no connection to the actual two entities, is the outcome of the balance of the fields of the two. Emotion is in that category, is the outcome of the interaction of the two worlds of physicality. In the world of science, we call it salt, connects the physical side, or what you call it, matter side, to the other side. But emotion itself is created out of interaction of what we call the fields of the physical part. Now, if you have emotion and you gathered intelligence, which is the knowledge of the past, again, intelligence has no dimension of physicality. Like emotion, is the energy side, it's the field side. When you put the emotion in conjunction with intelligence, or your understanding, from what you understood, how you react, it creates enlightenment. This is the mystery of life. We look for enlightenment, but if you look, when emotion is in a matter state and you're in distress, you create yourself a heart attack, brain hemorrhage. You create all sorts of physical damages. But if the emotion is in the level of the soul of the man, energy side, what we call without dimension, and interacts with the intelligence for what you understood in that emotion, it brings enlightenment. As we had the place, the position, and the possession, in the dimension of energy, we have the emotion, the intelligence, and enlightenment. Again, as we saw, the position, and the place creates the dimension of time in the matter state. This creates time in the dimension of the energy. When you're enlightened, then the time has no position. The time moves on according to the strength of intelligence, what you gathered, how you added the emotion, and what emotion brought you the intelligence, what it brought you the enlightenment. Then we see, for example, people who tell us things, and in the future we see, they say, oh, this guy 200 years ago said such a thing. This means that the guy had emotion, had the intelligence, and with that intelligence he was enlightened, which that enlightenment is 200 years time ahead, 200 years ahead. So the emotion, the enlightenment, and the intelligence, time brings a different factor of dimension away from dimension of physicality. We call them future tellers, but in fact, you have to look at the structure of their life, what they went in, what affected their emotion, what intelligence they had, and that intelligence, what enlightenment brought them, that the time has moved on. The time is years, hundreds of years, because they assess the intelligence by all the knowledge, not by the physical emotion. We react with the physical emotion, we shout, we run, we create a new time by running from one place to another. In the dimension of the enlightenment is the time factor ahead. And this is where the man, if understands how to connect the emotion between the emotion of physicality and the emotion of the soul of the man and the intelligence, and get enlightened, uses to create the new time in the dimension of the transmutation. Because now it's not a physical time, it's not morning, afternoon, and lunch. It's a time where that intelligence, that enlightenment, give the man on this planet 200 years ahead, but gives the soul of the man a position in the dimension of universe we actually exist. Because intelligence in that part, in that moment, is equal to intelligence of another position, place, and position in the space. Now we see time has two factors, one in a matter state and one in an energy state. And once the man of knowledge, those who get enlightened will understand soon that you can use the time to travel between the energy or matter and bring the dimension of the energy, the enlightenment, into the matter state of the position. I made man in an image of myself, as I have two images of an energy, a manifestation of physicality of the universe, but the energy, the enlightenment which flows across the universe I created. Has no dimension of physicality, but is the outcome of the interaction of the fields of me. I am the creator. In a way, you water a plant physically, but you give the rays of the sun for it to grow. One is a matter state and one is energy. Enlightenment, the time in the dimension of the fields of the energy, is that sun. But the time on the plant is the physicality of the growth physically. One cannot exist without the other one. We cannot grow a plant without the other. We see this in the world of creation. I referred to it last week in the teaching because I knew what's going to come this week. We explained why life exists on this planet. Because of this angle, the four seasons, creation of diversity. But there is a mystery in the world of the creation that, as I said, we are those clouds which become to the outer edge of the atmosphere and then rain back in. We go back to the mother, we rain back again on the earth, we evaporize, we come back to. And this process happens, and we see this in cosmology very clearly. And man does not understand this because man doesn't have the insight to knowledge to understand. As we rain back in, the characteristics is most of the time the same. What does this mean? The time, the place, the position. In interaction with the time of the energy at a given point of space-time interaction creates a specific condition. Today, I unravel a secret that will shock the world of knowledge, but in time man will understand. As we rain back in, depending on the condition of atmosphere, we are a rain, we are a snow, we become hailstone, and become blizzard, depending on the condition of the speed of the environment. But at the end, we become that water. Depending on the atmospheric condition as the moisture goes through. Therefore, if we look at the condition, at a given temperature and pressure, snow turns to hailstone, turns to a raindrop, and then it becomes a raindrop back into the earth. If you look at the world of cosmology, that raindrop goes through the condition to become ready, then to become that raindrop. There is a lot of discussion in the world of creation, in the world of cosmology about Mars. We look at Mars, we look at the structure of its physicality. They tell us it had rivers, they tell us it has this, it has that. But in fact, if you look at the time, if you look at the angle of inclination of the Earth and Mars, is nearly the same. Few millidegrees, few seconds and minutes apart. What does this mean? This means Earth was in a position of Mars. It started the characteristic change to have rivers and structures before it reaches the position closer to the mother, to the sun. What we see on Mars is the past life of Earth. in that position. And what will happen to Mars when it gets to this orbit in respect to the Sun as Earth is? We start seeing life. We see the evolution on this planet as it comes closer. It's taking its position, it's taking its angle, it's taking its diversity, it's taking every possible position and position with this condition. It is very simple. It is absolutely simple if you want to understand this. I bring you a couple of pictures that it might brings a lot of truth into a lot of our lives. And then you understand what the time, the position, and then the enlightenment and the emotion, and then the intelligence come all together. The planet Mars is in a state of the place, position, and possession. When it reaches at a certain field the strength of the enlightenment of the light of the Creator, which is the position of the earth today, it will revive to a life because the earth has moved on to the position of the Venus moving forward. And when you look at these pictures, when you understand this in reality, just look at the times. Earth has 23:56 degrees, 56 minutes. Mars has 24 hours and 37 minutes. It's coming in. It's coming to replace life on Earth, where Earth, by going closer to the creation of what we call itself, to the mother, we lose life on this planet. What we see in Venus, we will see on our Earth in the coming time. But as you go forward, again, you look at the angle of the Earth and the angle of the Mars. Then you understand life is a position, but it has a place which is connected to the emotion, intelligence, and enlightenment. Those of us who are trying to go to Mars, to start living in Mars, travel instead of your physical dimension, in the dimension of the energy, the soul, and stand outside, your new planet will come. Mars will be the next generation of life, when life, the way we see on this planet, will come to enlightenment. It'll come to live. It'll have life on it. And if you look at all the planetary system, if you look at the structure of all the solar systems which contain life, this position, place, emotion, enlightenment, and intelligence work together, create a new time for life in a given space and time in both dimensions, as we call in Chinese, yin and yang. So what we see on Mars is the pastime of Earth. The rivers come and go, but it needs to get into the place and the position of Earth, orbital condition, manifestation of physicality to create new condition of lives. And the world of science very soon will understand what I explained. You have to have a given position, place, with the dimension of emotion, intelligence, and enlightenment. And in that position, you find life. In a condition man is used to. So, if you go on Mars and look at Earth, you see the future of Mars. When we're standing on Earth, we look back to Mars, we see the past of Earth, how we became, how it developed, how it energized to be, and everything fits into one and to another. But when we look at the Venus, the evolution of the turn after about 45 degrees becomes so rapid that it takes a full twist, and then by interaction of the fields inside moves in. Therefore, with understanding of the totality of the knowledge, with understanding how the two are similar, is not coincidental. We are coming in and we're going through. The place is always the same. This orbit creates life. The position between the Earth and Mars is the same because it carries the gravitational magnetic field, the strength of the mother. The emotion on the Mars, when reaches the point of the Earth orbit, will dictate creation of new entities, new lives. And if you understand the space between the Mars and the Earth, and then you will see a time will come that we will see life on both planets at the same time. Mars will, being further out, having a bigger expansion of magnetic gravitational field atmosphere, allow large creatures, what we call the dinosaurs, to be grown up. Man who lives in that atmosphere condition will be a very tall man. Then, in so many ways, we go through the evolution of time. If you're a man who's born on Mars and look at the Earth, you see the future of the man, but with different intelligence, with different understanding. And you have to understand at the same time as the Mars is taking position for Earth, the sun is losing its power. So different creatures, different souls will be created on Mars in position and the place of the Earth. It will not be replication. They'll have different emotion, they have different intelligence, they have most probably less intellect than the man of today. As the sun loses the strength, the heat becomes less as we see it during the day. As we move away from the light of the sun in the afternoon is different than the heat on the top. Lunchtime. Their strength is less. So the intelligence of the creatures on Mars will be different than us. We will start finding lives inside inner sanctums, layers of the Mars, as they become the original structure of life. In the past week, in the laboratory tests, we have seen creatures created. We created the condition. We have recorded it to confirm the change in time, and we can dictate what creatures will be created in coming time. As I said, I have a box with me somewhere in the lab. It's been with me since 2007, 8. Creatures inside it that have their own intelligence. I watch them, I see them. Because I created a place, position, and position, but I did not give the condition of the emotion, the intelligence, and the enlightenment. That is kept within. Once it's opened up, we have to see how it reacts. And the same thing goes with the man. This factor of angle difference between the Earth and the Mars is not coincidental. It's exactly how it should be. because in coming time, Earth will match in around that 24 hours. And this is a time when we start seeing life on both planets. Till Earth moves further in. When Mercury gets absorbed into the Sun, Mars will move in the place of Earth, else moves in the position of Venus, and will take the same characteristic and further on. And then we see the what we call Jupiter behind Mars will start taking position of Mars. We see valleys, we will see rivers, we will see the first structure of life. The planets have to be made ready to become bearer of life, of the structure we see, even though they themselves create life in their own position and place. There's as much life on Neptune as is on Earth. But man has to become too wise. Man has to become to understand the process of creation. Each place, position, and position has a time. When the time of the position and the place matches the time of the emotion, the intelligence, and most of you understand, will be the same time. It gets enlightened. And when the two time match, life is created. Yin and yin, physicality and energy. There is no life if there is no sun. Sun is the enlightenment, and life is a dimension of physicality. Today, I unravel the knowledge that those who become the man of space need to know. If you're looking for a position and a place to carry life in, you'll have to look for the sex to find a common time denominator. Time of life, beginning of life of the energy in the dimension of the soul of the man. We do that with our children, with the womb of the mother. Now you understand why we talk about the children of Mitra. Those are created in the dimension of energy, and the man children which are created out of interaction of physicality. Now you understand how the children of Mitra will be enlightened to understanding of the totality of the creation in all dimensions of the creation, and not the earthly matter physicality of the man. They are intelligent. They understand the totality of the creation, where man is busy with the dimension of physicality. When I read and I hear that Mr. Musk is going to the Mars, I was going to write to him, don't rush. Wait here. Get yourself into space. Mars will arrive and life will be on it. This is the truth about understanding the process of the what we call cosmic rays, cosmology of life, rays of cosmos, which creates life. I explained to a knowledge seeker, coincidentally, accidentally, but by the will of God, or whatever you call it, cosmic rays is the creation of mark of the creation. And coincidentally, the financial arm of the Keshe Foundation is mark ray. We mark that ray which creates a life in the universe. Understanding of life is not coincidental. It needs the maturity. It needs the intelligence. It needs the enlightenment to understand. Man can be enlightened and live in another dimension, as is the dimension of energy, while man lives, matures as a man on this planet in the dimension of physicality. I made man in the image of myself. I exist within me, within the center of the creation, and I enlighten. And in the dimension of physicality, the furthest point from me, I create man to confirm my existence. Soul of the man is the connection in the dimension of energy, where the physicality of the man is a confirmation of manifestation of its existence. One day, today's teaching will change the course of history of the knowledge, when the man understands the process of creation. We don't live by time. Our life creates the time. We don't travel the time. Time travels with us because we are creator of it. Once man understands the importance and connection between the time on the energy side and the time on the matter state energy, man will break through one of the biggest discoveries of science and knowledge of the universe and creation. When those two times come together, lead to creation and connection to the creator. But it needs the intelligence of the man to understand, appreciate, analyze, and comprehend the difference between the two times. To match the time of the energy and to match the time of the physicality together to be the same leads to the creation of the man with the soul of the man within it, with restriction on its totality. The soul of the man is confined within the structure of the physicality of the brain of the man. And then the soul of the physicality of the man and the soul of the man are constrained with the dimension of the atmospheric gravitational field of this planet. Man needs to break through to understand more. Independent investigation of the man's own field of strength is the responsibility of every man to understand where the soul will be and where and what intellectual line sits in understanding the what we call enlightenment level. Birds fly with birds and cats with cats. Doctors go together and the lawyers together because they have that level of intelligence which matches. They've been trained for that. So shall be the soul of the man when reaches that enlightenment, has a position which the other souls of the same enlightenment possess in a given position and dimension in the universe. If you understand this, then it comes to the next point of understanding that even the galaxies are created out of the enlightenment, and those who are enlightened of the same strength, magnetic field strength and understanding, will find their position in that universe. In a way, if you're a doctor, you go where the doctors are in the hospital, and if they're a lawyer, you go to court where all the lawyers are. So when the man knowledge increases and understand more and reaches more mature enlightenment, you will find that each galaxy is characterized by the field strength of that structure of the souls which are enlightened to be, and in that position that lead to manifestation of new stars. This is why the galaxies are so crowded, because there are so many enlightenments by the creatures, by created life across this universe find their position. Then if man one day can reach the dimension of intelligence to be able to measure the field strength of the enlightenment, you can directly point out to which galaxy that soul will manifest itself in, and even its position and the place. These are the mysteries of the creation. And as a teacher, it's our job to enlighten you that when you go across different galaxies, across different universes, understand the intelligence of, the reason of, the purpose of existence of that galaxy, universe, in the unicos. I hope today I open your eyes to a new dimension of knowledge. This is our job to enlighten you. As I said, I take you to the point of the heaven. Mitra's daughter's job to take you through the heaven. But man has to be prepared, dressed, and be ready to take that position. That is ready to understand the connection between the time of energy and the time of physicality. That interaction on its own brings a new dimension that the man is not aware of. And it leads to the time of creation. The origin of the gravitational magnetic fields, the origin of the magnetic fields. As I said, one of the books will be about magnetic fields. And from now on, you understand that that book is written by you understanding it and by us explaining it. And in the future, that book will be written by the man himself and the creatures of the universe. Just remember, the matching time between the Earth and the Mars and the angle of inclination is not coincidental. It's our wish and our will, and it's the process of the creation, and shall be observed across the universe.